Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mondays at Microsoft, where we break down the last 2 weeks and the next 2 weeks across the Microsoft world for you with a special focus on AI, modern work, and Power Platform. I'm Karuana Gatimu. I'm the principal lead of the Microsoft 365 Customer Advocacy Group, and I'm here with my awesome friend.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Cook. I'm Principal Community Evangelist and Engagement and Events for Microsoft 365 Customer Advocacy Group as well. So, yay.
We're so happy to be with you this morning. And if you're in the US, you know that this is a holiday, a Memorial Day, but we're so excited and so much is happening. We're here anyway. So it's very, very fantastic.
Absolutely. Yes. And, the Memorial Day holiday here in the US, you and I were just talking about, we are observing a day for those we have lost in our military. So a shout out to families and all of those folks who are in a day of remembrance with us. So
Absolutely. And thank you for your service.
exactly.
If you're watching us on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or anywhere that you may be watching us, you will get all the links that we talk about in this show. So never fear, you'll have all the fancy stuff. And I want to give a special shout out to the team who is helping us produce today, who are also with us on their US holiday. And maybe as they're also having a day of remembrance, we appreciate them so much. The show is so much better because we have help now. Yay!
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was also, there just so much happened, right, in this last week. We had the build.
I know, right? Microsoft Build. If you missed it, I hope you didn't. The good thing about Microsoft Build is, of course, everything is available online. You can go back and watch the keynotes. You can watch the sessions. You can really deep dive into some of the new amazing technology and continue to build your skills with lots of things that were already there. We do talk about more than we do. Did you hear me just say that?
You just said do, but that's
cool. Say do. Okay, moving right along. We do other things besides AI, and we have not forgotten that. And so the build content is fantastic. And what you can see is the Book of News, right? This is the big rock, aka.ms Build 24 Book of News. This is a fantastic resource to go through, but also share with your team and your executives because it highlights all the major announcements from that show. And there were several, especially the Copilot updates, Team Copilot. When do I get that shirt? Excuse me. Hello. I'd like that shirt, please. Copilot in the PC and 5.3 Vision small language model. Those are, I'm going to go ahead and say it, global changers, right? They're global changers. Team Copilot is fantastic. And being able to introduce that, it's the expansion of Copilot for Microsoft 365. And it's really a behind the scenes personal AI assistant. It takes Copilot from there to being a valuable member of your team. Right. And remember, this is right next to you. This is at your direction, right? You are still the pilot. You are still leading everything there, but you'll be able to invoke Copilot where you collaborate, right? In Teams, in Loop, in Planner. And it can be a meeting facilitator. It can manage an agenda. Hello, tracking and taking notes. And also it can act as a collaborator in chats by surfacing important information when you need it, right? And love this, tracking action items. You have to go and check out the demo of this that is from the keynote. I really need you to understand what this can do for your productivity and how it can make your team operate even more efficiently, right? This is about really supercharging our ability and also giving us that ability to focus. When you're in those meetings and you're furiously taking action items and you already have Copilot, you're probably kind of dependent on the recap, but still there's definitely things you do. Well, this now Team Copilot will enable you to do that. It'll do that on your behalf. So these initial experiences will be in preview later this year, and then you can learn and iterate, and we're going to continue to refine as we enter in this new phase of innovation where Copilot begins to take more action on behalf of individuals and teams. So, you check those out. aka.ms Copilot WAC Build Announcements. That is really going to get you right to that information about Team Copilot. And it's pretty phenomenal. That's why this show may run just a teensy bit long. There's so much to talk about. Heather and I talked about that before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Lots of big rocks today, for sure.
Absolutely. You want to do the Copilot Studio one, Heather? Want to
Yeah,
hit that?
sure. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So Copilot Studio introducing new agent capabilities, empowering developers to build all of those copilots that we've been talking about. So, and you can more proactively respond to data and events tailored to specific tasks and functions. So the copilots you all are going to build with these new category of capabilities can now independently manage really complex and long-running business processes, right? So you're leveraging memory and knowledge for content, reasons over actions and inputs. You can learn based on user feedback and ask for help when someone encounters a situation that they don't know how to handle. So it's just really putting Copilot to work for you, from IT device procurement to, say, a customer concierge for sales and service. So just like all of these amazing Copilot extensions as well, which I'll talk about a little later in business applications, really allowing Microsoft Copilot to connect to new data sources and applications. So it's just another big expansion of the functionality that was already there. So that was a big announcement also at Build. It was awesome. So super excited.
And these expansions represent literally thousands of people working together to bring you these experiences. I'm so proud of our company for the way that we are really coming together as one Microsoft to expand these capabilities and build them in everywhere. And nothing is more impressive than the Copilot Plus PCs. They are the fastest, most intelligent Windows PCs ever built. And they have powerful new silicon capable of an incredible 40 tops trillion operations per second, all-day battery life, access to the most advanced AI models. These PCs are going to enable you to take full advantage of the new technology and do things that you've never been able to do before, right?
Yeah.
And I love being able to find and recall what I was doing because, sometimes between here and the kitchen, I forget what I was doing. And PC, the new recall capability, I know is really going to help me remember exactly what I was doing. And it's also going to help you generate and refine AI images in near real time, directly on your device, using Co-Creator. Bridging language barriers with live captions and translating audio from 40 languages into English. So there's so many of these experiences, and we need the devices that are able to maximize the capabilities that the new technology and the AI models are bringing to us. And that's what we've done. That's really the power of being Microsoft. Not only are we innovating on the capabilities, but we're also delivering the hardware and training our people how to help you get the most out of this. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's super cool. And, we talked, I believe last week, there was already a blog out about Phi 3, the small language model. And so we talk a lot about the LLMs, the large language model, right? That's behind so much of what's been put out in the last year with Copilot and, ChatGPT and all of that. But at Build, we announced fully the new models for those small open models that's been developed by Microsoft. And so there's a whole Phi 3 vision, which is a multimodal, say that 5 times fast, multimodal model. How about that? That brings together, you got both language and vision. And so that's really exciting. That's now available on Microsoft Azure. And so what does that do? That empowers developers with models for these generative AI applications that require like really strong reasoning, limited compute, and then latency bound scenarios. So like hopefully making things quicker and faster for certain scenarios. And so Phi 3 Medium is also available on Azure AI models as a service offering. So and then that's to get people started, more quickly and easily. So definitely check those out. You can hit those today and check it out and see what all this Phi 3 stuff is all about. So pretty cool. Yeah.
And remember, you don't have to be a developer to take advantage of all of these things. There's so many great opportunities for learning on Microsoft Learn. Of course, we have Copilot and GitHub, which can help you code right away. There are templates and tools all over. And so don't let all these new acronyms intimidate you, because there's a lot that we can all do and build together, whether you think of yourself as a developer or not. I've coded in my life, and it wasn't until a good friend, Bob German, was like, yeah, you are, Karuana. You're a developer. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not.
Right.
Because I'm not a professional, and it's not the only thing I do. But I realized I was minimizing what I was enjoying. And so don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, completely. 100%.
Absolutely. Well, we have another announcement, and this is something that Heather and I have been working on for a really long time. And we are thrilled to announce our new community news desk. This community news desk is on the Microsoft Tech community, and it represents a unification of work that's been happening all across Microsoft for a very long time. And this way we can bring it together and share the greater audience, right? And it's more discoverable on the Microsoft Tech community as well for many people who may not have joined us in the past. This area on the MTC will host our blog. It'll host live events like this show right here. You'll now be able to see on an event page on the community news desk. And what's awesome about that is it gives us the ability to, after the show, host all the notes in one place in a beautifully formatted blog post. Thank you, Mark Cashman, for spearheading that for us and really helping us bring this into reality. Mark is the editor and taking care of all the content on the community news desk. It's fantastic work, and we're just super excited about it. And we'll also have our Meet the Makers series there as well, where you get to really meet the engineering leaders inside Microsoft. We have another one of those coming up soon. We did a planner one, and it's always followed by an Ask Microsoft Anything AMA event. So you really need to go to aka.ms community news desk. This is your page. All of our blogs, all sorts of awesome information and community spotlights will be there. And our first drop of content there is sessions that are available from the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. You don't want to miss those. Jeff and the team did an amazing keynote. So many of the breakouts we're going to be publishing. There's a whole section there that we've never done before at M365Con on how to transform your communications. And it's for communications professionals and HR professionals in an organization who are really charged with making sure the employee experience is great. And it teaches you so much about how to leverage Microsoft Viva components. I'm just so excited about this content. That's now available. And every Tuesday, we're going to drop new content. So there's going to be another drop tomorrow of fantastic content that comes from M365 Conference. And you can find it there through the Community News Desk and at aka.ms M365 Con Sessions. So you're going to want to go to Con Sessions because that is also our community learning channel, right? Huge shout out to Wim Korvitz and Vesa Jovanin, who've been running the M365 and Power Platform YouTube channel for a really long time. And they are joining forces with us, and we're willing to rename their YouTube channel to something larger so that we could accommodate even more fantastic stuff. So you have 3 things to do. Well, maybe a couple more than 3.
Homework. This is homework, everybody. Okay, get ready.
Exactly. So number 1, subscribe to the Community News Desk blog. That way you will stay up to date. You'll get notifications about the shows, all the different flavors of it, and when new content drops for the conference sessions and what have you. And subscribe and turn on notifications to the Microsoft Community Learning channel. More awesome community calls, demos, tutorials, really a place to join the community and build your skills. What I love about that channel is it's not all Microsoft presenters, right? It's people directly from the community who have a lot of content already there and are going to keep creating awesome content. And tell your friends, right? That's the most important thing. Subscribe to the News Desk blog, subscribe to the YouTube channel, tell your friends. And of course, if you want extra credit, you can share our post or retweet our tweet. We appreciate that. But what we really want you to do is get the most out of the work that we're doing on our Community News Desk. And we're just really excited to bring that together for everyone. So yay.
Super exciting. Yeah. And just, it's such a great partnership across with Power Platform. We've got our friends in Fabric. We've got our folks in SQL Server. We've got our security folks. So, there's a lot of us who work in community at Microsoft, right? And so we've all been coming together, over the last while, trying to figure out how we can do more where it's a one spot to to get to this stuff. So a couple of other things that will be coming soon. People are like, well, how do I get something featured there? Or, I have an event coming up and what's going on with that? And how do we do all of these things? So we've launched, so yay. So that's good. And so we're working on editorial calendar and, Mark's thinking through that stuff, and we're all talking together, with our partners about, okay, how do we want to do that? So we've got some things initially happening around being able to submit a social post to go up in these areas that will be available to our event producers, our MVPs, and other folks who work in the community who want to amplify something through the news desk. So that is coming soon. VESA and BWIM already have ways for people to sign up for a demo as well. If you want to be on one of those community calls, it's a great way to get your feet wet. If you've not done a lot of speaking, or if you've got something really cool that you want to share, there's ways to be a part of it, to be a reporter, to be a voice. Coming soon, field community reporters as well. So we've got some cool stuff that we're going to roll out over time with y'all to get everybody a little bit more connected in here and to be a part of this thing that is also yours, right? This is the Community News Desk. This is all about you and all of the beautiful things that you do. Yes, it's about stuff that we're doing too, but hopefully we're facilitating and supporting you to do all the great stuff that you want to do as part of this community. So
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's just, you couldn't have said that better, right? The best things that we get to do is highlight those community members. And so we're really excited about this. Inside Microsoft, this is a whole community news bureau effort with our production house and the news that comes out and all these submissions and what have you. And so, kind of living the dream over here, getting to pull all this together on behalf of Microsoft. I was sharing that with a friend over the weekend, and I love what I do. And there's so much good news in the world to highlight from this community. And I really appreciate the good news that comes from every corner of the world, different events, different people learning. It's important to remember there's a lot of good out in the world too, alongside some of the more stressful things that are still happening out in the world that we are always aware of. But we're going to bring in positive energy whenever we can. And Microsoft community, that's pretty much every day, because there's always something good happening in the Microsoft community for sure.
Yeah,
and
I know.
in Microsoft in general. This Khan Academy thing, Heather, tell us all about that. This is, I know Khan Academy, they're fantastic. What are we doing with them now?
So through some announcements at Build, so Microsoft and Khan Academy, it is spelled like Wrath of Khan from Star Trek for all of you Trekkies out there. Just saying.
In case you're wondering. That's how come I remembered them. That's why I remember them, right?
Yes, you can do it. Yes, there you go. But Khan Academy, yes, there we go. Is this amazing training and learning company, and they do all kinds of great stuff in the world, have been for a long time, but it's a multifaceted partnership to really turn AI, that transformative potential into reality. So we've got Microsoft is enabling Khan Academy to offer K through 12 US educators free access to Khanmigo for teachers, which is an AI powered teaching assistant that frees teachers time up so they can focus on what matters most, which is engaging with and supporting their students. So Microsoft is donating this access to Azure AI optimized infrastructure to increase the availability for this Khanmigo for teachers, which will now be powered by Azure OpenAI service. So that's huge. And that's like all K through 12 US educators, free access for this across, So it's just really math tutoring as well in an affordable, scalable, adaptive manner with a new version of the Phi 3 that we were talking about. So this new family of small language models developed by Microsoft. So we've got Khan Academy with math tutoring, more content into Copilot and Teams for education as well. So all kinds of things going on here to really teach kids at that age, where they're just super absorptive, and then empowering teachers to be able to do more with their time, because we know that they spend so much time, and they're thank you for your service as well, teachers, for sure. So 100%. Very exciting. Yeah. So very cool.
100%. This is fantastic. And, we went from the Microsoft big rock of Microsoft Build into the in case you missed it section, but it's all kind of blurs together because there's just so much going on, right? But we are in the in case you missed it section. And this next story, I chatted this out time, but I'm going to shout it out again because Heather does a ton of work on our script here. And she finds the most interesting stuff and heartfelt stuff too. She's a fantastic editor. And this is about a new neurodiverse team has launched Mentra, right? This is a hiring platform that uses Microsoft AI to connect more than 44,000 registered users with fulfilling careers. And the platform evaluates more than 75 data points entered by job seekers, including their skills, goals, and accommodations. And Heather, this story is so heartfelt because for the founder, Jalika Kumar, boy, I hope I said that right out there. If you're hearing this, I hope I said your name correctly. The inspiration to create Mentor began inside her own family. Her brother, Vikram, is a non-speaking autistic individual who recently gained the ability to communicate on a letterboard. And one of the first things he tapped out on the board, I want to get a job. Right? There's no limitations to people wanting to be of service and feel that sense of independence and be a part of something that they've always wanted to do. And I just feel that that is so amazing. And, you know, again, this is a perfect example of so much good happening in the world. And people being inspired by their own journeys to use this technology to do things that they may not have ever been able to do before. And so I just really loved this, and I love that they're using Microsoft AI. And fantastic story you found there, Heather.
Yeah, I really like. You know, we have the Microsoft News Desk is great, and then there's also this little area on LinkedIn that's got these little sort of short every month that they put up, and I find a lot of this kind of stuff there, which is it's not up necessarily on all the bigger stuff. So yeah, I was really excited about this one. I was like, wow, cool story for sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, now we're going to move into product. Let's talk a little bit about product. Not that we hadn't already been talking about some more Microsoft product. You know, Microsoft 365, Azure, and the dev space. Listen, Microsoft Places. You've been asking about it. I've seen it in my feed. I've seen it on the tech community. It is available in public preview now. And it's an AI-powered app that coordinates when you're planning to come in the office and where you'll work. It enables improved connections with your coworkers, and it really optimizes the effectiveness and engagement of the workplace, right? Places features are accessible across surfaces that people usually use for coordination and collaboration, like Outlook and Microsoft Teams. So being able to flexibly coordinate who is where and what part of that office space that you still have is going to be used, right? And really looking at this in a much broader way. When Places was originally announced, it was quite a big deal. I remember doing that. I think I was on air at Ignite when that happened. And people have been continually asking about it ever since. And so now you can go and check out this blog and make sure that you can get into that public preview so you can begin to understand how you can leverage this to help your workforce navigate the hybrid work thing a little bit more easily. Because, you know, I love the new capabilities they've built into Outlook, being able to set your, you know, I'm in the office, I'm remote, I'm over here. And Places takes all of that so much more to the next level in terms of the way it helps you manage your facilities and understand who's where at any given time. So go and check that out. All you folks who've been waiting for Places for a while, and even if you didn't know anything about it, go take a look at the blog because anything that we can do to help people connect when they do come into an office and not miss each other, you know, and really understand where everybody is at and what people are doing is a good thing.
Yeah, it's super cool. And, you know, like keep on rolling with more and more blog announcements. You know, like I think that's the other thing is that, you know, Microsoft Tech Community, that's where all of the blog announcements are for M365 and Teams and all of those things that came out for Build. And then rolling into business applications, Dynamics, and Fabric, we have a blog that rolled up all the announcements that was posted by Charles Lamanna. We'll put the link in the chat here in a second. So all of this stuff is in there and leads to all the different blogs for each of the different products and biz apps. But one of the things we had mentioned earlier was those Copilot connectors in conjunction with Copilot Studio. And so I just wanted to say 1,400 Power Platform connectors, Microsoft Graph connectors, and Power Query connectors with Microsoft Fabric integrations coming soon. So that makes it possible for Copilots to use all these various data sources. So we're talking public websites, we're talking SharePoint, we're talking OneDrive, we're talking Dataverse tables, we're talking Fabric OneLake and Microsoft Graph. and every third-party app that you could pretty much think of, right? So IT teams are going to be able to curate and manage Copilot connectors to make sure that you're also using a trusted catalog. You know, you get shadow IT rocking sometimes, right? And so people are doing things where like, I'm just gonna, wire this up. And okay, but what we need to be doing is making sure we're using a trusted catalog so that you get all that trust in there, you get the privacy, you get the security, you get all the uptime, all that stuff. So it's really exciting to see that, on this push, there's 1,400 out of the gate. Power Platform as a team has the connectors. Like I remember when I saw Charles speak at the Microsoft Garage at a Ignite before COVID. And it was like 600 or 500 connectors, right? And that was 2019. And it's been like ever since, just adding and adding. But super cool to hear, like, we're going to connect this through and words like Salesforce. We're going to connect to Salesforce, or we're going to connect to SAP, or we're going to connect to, Twitter, or all of these things, right? So it's super exciting that this is all available for Copilot. And then going into a little bit more with Power Automate, Flowtastic, AI flows, right? So automatic shifts from a rules-based to an AI-based automation, right? That's adaptive and outcome-based. And so with this new AI recorder, these desktop flows are just getting smarter and more intuitive. So, show and tell with your voice, an AI recorder can automate stuff for you. So that's super exciting. And it's kind of a new type of workflow available in an early access program with this AI flows to streamline operations and costs. So, with Power Automate, you can interpret process objectives, automation plans getting generated, select actions, outcomes, all that stuff. So it's really got guardrails to control the boundaries of autonomy for AI flows. So you've got safe execution. So you can go check that out at the link there. But that's really, really exciting. So it's like, Power Automate is I find it both easy, and then sometimes I'm like, I can't get that one piece, and this is really going to help, I think, with that, I can't get that one piece moment, which I'm really excited about, because I love, we do flows all the time working with communities. We're bringing in information, sign up for something, and we're going to alert somebody here. That's how we're going to run the news desk. We already do. Something comes into a form, we go over to our SharePoint list, and it sends off a notification, and somebody does something, and all of that. So like, that's really exciting to be able to have this become that new piece where it's going to be like, oh, let me help you out a little bit more with that.
Right. And think about, if Copilot is now extending itself into the situation where it's a trusted team member, as much it is, freeing me from some of the things that I don't really need to spend my time doing. Yeah. And now I can automate it within safety and boundaries. And, just a big shout out there for folks. Remember, governance isn't just about Microsoft 365. It's also about your Power Platform infrastructure. And there's some fantastic governance guidance out there that you should be looking at. We're going to do another update of it. It's already in the works in this new era of AI. But most of the fundamentals still apply, just like they do in Microsoft 365. And, so hopefully you have a couple different environments, hopefully you're thinking about who can publish where. Like, these things do matter in a large organization. But if you're in a small to medium business, go out there and play, right? And you want to be able to have your users play with this stuff anyway, right? Because there's a great question in the chat, Heather, about not what was the most interesting aha moment, but what are the interesting, like, what moment? And I wanted to say something about that, because one of the most interesting things that happened to, I think, both of us at the Microsoft 365 conference, or no, maybe it was a different one. I kind of all blurs together, but I was someplace on a panel, and it was a Microsoft employee who said she hadn't figured out how Copilot was going to impact her life yet. And it reminded me that, everybody is starting from a different place. So we're talking about now Copilot as an active team member, right? But if you haven't had your aha moment with Copilot before, none of that matters to you yet, right? Just know that there's so much that is available to you. If it hasn't made sense to you in your particular job yet, it's going to. And the number one way to figure that out is get started on the web. Go to copilot.microsoft.com. Start playing with it yourself. Like, these skills, being able to adapt to how to use these skills is going to be really important as we go forward. And of course, we always talk about things like that as we get ready for all of our events, because there's so many events that are coming.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. No, very super duper exciting. And so, yeah. And in our Microsoft Global Community Initiative area, which we have up on adoption.microsoft.com, we also have launched some new pages up there. So we did a bit of a cleanup on our MGCI page in general. There's also a new Microsoft community page that we worked on as well that's got all of the announcements about the new YouTube channel and the Microsoft News Desk and our community skills challenge that we have up there that we're encouraging everybody to take and go get another badge and get up there on Microsoft Learn as well. We also invited, and a big congratulations and thank you to 60 regional leaders for the Microsoft Global Community Initiative. And those folks, they was self-nominated and then they were voted on by our community board. And so we've brought them in. They're up on the page now, and we're going to have a big announcement about them tomorrow. So thank you, regional leaders, for jumping in. And what's a regional leader do? Well, they work in their local communities to help facilitate events, answer questions, to be an ambassador, to really, lean in and really like work locally with people on technology and technical skilling. So thank you in advance for your work that you're going to do there and your volunteerism. We really, really appreciate it. And a new page up on that. So very cool. And anybody can join the Global Community Initiative. There is a sign-up form there. We have general meetings once a month. The next one is coming up third Thursday in June, which is the 18th. So you can come check that out. There's training, there's templates, there's all kinds of things. If you're wanting to get involved as a community organizer, or you want to, hey, I'd love to do some sort of an event in my area, we can help train you on how to do that. So come join the MGCI. All the links are in the chat and you can come check that out. Part of MGCI is communitydays.org, which is our one-stop shop for all community events, both free and paid. And so, oh my goodness, people are listing their events there like bananas. It's awesome. So you can find something in your community.
So many events, and this just goes back to my whole theory about so many good things happening in the world.
Yes.
All of these events, we have the free and the paid events there, but I love the free events. They're the ones that are near and dear to my heart. It's where I got my start in SharePoint Saturdays in Los Angeles. I know you did too. And, it's really where you meet the actual community that you can become a part of on a regular basis, whether it's a user group or an event. We really want to take advantage of these things that are literally happening all over the world. And I'm not going to challenge you to say all of these names in the next. Can you do it? Can you do it? Okay.
Yeah, I can do it in like 2 minutes. Yeah. No.
Okay.
And not like a chipmunk. How about that? Blah, blah, blah. Ready? Yeah. So past events, we had IM Tech Summit Europe in Brighton. We also had Get CS LATAM that happened in Ciudad de Mexico. I actually talked to Rodolfo, who's one of our board members this week, and was talking about how great that was. And Stephen Rose was there, so that was awesome. M365 Philly happened in Malvern. We had SharePoint Intranet Festival, which was virtual in Americas, EMEA, and APAC. The Power Platform Developer Summit happened in Paddington, London. And we also had Community Day Japan and Ishikawa, Japan. And then coming soon, we've got Oslo, Norway, that's actually happening right now, starting today. The Fabric and Open AI Day in Vancouver and Calgary. Those are coming up this week. Collab Days Italy, Be Connected Day 12 in Milan. We've got Collab Days Netherlands happening on June 1st, Aix Marseille in June 11th. And then Collab Days Madrid coming up on the 13th. Those are all those free events that we were talking about that are in person. And then we also have the paid events. Dynamic Minds, a big shout out to everybody who's in Slovenia right now. That is an awesome event of witches and wizards and fun. I love how they do that. A bunch of us are going to TechCon 365 and PowerCon coming up in June in Seattle. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for that and you're in Seattle, please definitely check that out. We've also got a couple of community days. Also European Power Platform Conference is coming up in Brussels very soon. And then Internets and AI, June 19th through 20th, which is virtual. So lots and lots of stuff happening and very exciting. Thank you all for listing your events. We also have a community calls page that's brand new as well up there. So you can see what's been hosted by Microsoft that's a community call or hosted by the community. We're also adding functionality so people can add their own community calls up there. So lots of great stuff happening. Tom Daly and our technology team, just a big shout out for him and his volunteerism creating the site and continuing to innovate and add things. We also had some feedback feedback come back about, I am not seeing myself up on the speaker board. And so we worked on that this week. And so it's just awesome to have people looking at it, checking it out, giving feedback, and working with us on making it a better and better experience all the time. So yeah.
Absolutely. And if there's 2 links you need, it's the link to our community news desk so you can stay up to date and use all our links and share them with other people. And it is a communitydays.org. Between those 2, you will be plugged in. We will post all of that on LinkedIn, obviously on our community page. It's there on LinkedIn so you can see it right in your feed. We're connecting all of this together because we want to be where you are. Right? It's not about you coming to Microsoft. It's about us reaching out to you. So if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube or even on Facebook, wherever you might be, we're going to bring this news to you so that you can continue to build your skills, right? Microsoft is the great creator of opportunities. You only have to lean in with all of the free resources that we have and all of the people who are willing to help you to make the most, especially out of this transformation that is happening right now in our industry with AI. Right? Yep. Don't let this leave you behind. Don't let it intimidate you. We're all learning together. There are no dumb questions. That's what our Ask Microsoft Anythings are for. And just come along with us on this journey because, Heather and I are examples of how the Microsoft ecosystem can be so good for your career and therefore your family. I just love all of the opportunity that Microsoft is creating. And we're really focused on democratizing this opportunity around the globe. And that's why Heather and I are so passionate about community as well, because it does exactly that right where you are. Yep. And if you can't get to some particular event or location, we will bring it to you virtually because there's plenty of virtual events and lots of training that is still available in that way. So, we're just happy to be here of service. I think I had the greatest job in the world, getting to work with all these amazing people, and so many people who are dedicated to this around the globe. It is completely fantastic. And it's worthwhile to run over by a couple of minutes for that.
Yeah.
So
can I have one more thing? Since we did say family for a second, I just want to take a personal moment and just give a shout out to my dad, whose birthday it is today. So Stan,
wonderful. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
What a fantastic human with Heather. Hopefully you'll see that. Fantastic human.
Yes.
So make sure you come back on June 10th and join us for our next show. We're excited to be with you as always. Check out all that Microsoft 365 community conference content if you couldn't join us in Orlando, and we will see you very soon. This is Mondays at Microsoft signing off.
Yep. Cheers, everybody.